Good evening from the KTN News Center. Many thanks for joining us. It is a Tuesday, the 30th day of May 2017. It is exactly 69 days to August 8th when Kenyans go to the polls in this year's general election. According to the graphics at the bottom end of your screen, we have a lot for you on the program here on KTN Prime, including we shall be immediately after KTN Prime tonight. We shall be premiering our newest political show here on KTN News. That is Meet the President with Yvonne Okwara-Matole, speaking to the different presidential candidates that have just been cleared by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Stand by to find out who our first guest will be. That is at 10 p.m. immediately after KTN Prime. Many thanks for joining us. I am Ben Kitili. All right, we have just said 69 days to this year's general election. Let's now begin with an opinion poll by Ipsos that has just been released by research firm Ipsos that is concerning what has been happening on the political front. And we want to start with this question that has been asked this is according to the survey by Ipsos. If the elections were to be held today, whom would you vote for? And what Ipsos found out is that Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto on that Jubilee ticket would get 47%, and Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka on the National Super Alliance ticket would get 42% of the vote, 8% undecided. Now, according to the other poll released by Ipsos in February this year, Uhuru and Ruto have remained on that same spot, 47%, according to Ipsos, and Raila Odinga have gained a popularity of about 12% from 30% in that survey conducted in January and released in February this year to 42%, a difference of 12 percentage points. That is according to Ipsos. Now, in terms of how Kenyans would rate the President Uhuru Kenyatta over the period of the last 3 months, 46% approve of President Uhuru Kenyatta, 49% disapprove. For more people disapproving President Uhuru Kenyatta over the last 3 months, according to the Ipsos survey released today. Now, if you go to Jubilee supporters, 74% of them approve and only 22% disapprove. And in terms of NASA, 17% only approve the President Uhuru Kenyatta, and 79% disapprove. Now, in terms of the direction the country has been taking, 18% think, according to Ipsos, the country is going in the right direction, and are hoping 71% think the country is going in the wrong direction. If you go to Jubilee supporters and ask them, 31% think it is going to the wrong direction, interestingly, and 52% say it is going to the wrong direction. According to NASA supporters, only 4% think that the country is going in the right direction, and a whopping 91% think the country is going in the wrong direction. That is the latest survey by research firm Ipsos released earlier today. Let's now start with a big question discussion tonight, and we are basing this on that, and we are asking you, after what you saw in the 2013 election, do you believe opinion polls are a true reflection of public support? Tell us what you think. Text us your yes or no opinion, plus a brief comment, of course, to our studio lines. That number is 22155. You can join this conversation online on Twitter by tweeting us at Ben_Kitili, at KTN News, at KTN Kenya. The hashtag to use on this conversation is at KTN Prime. We shall be sampling some of your views during this live newscast. Right. Now, the Central Bank of Kenya estimates that the standard gauge railway will cut the cost of inland transport by almost half with these benefits being expected to percolate across the economy. Now, the CBK estimates the cost of savings of over 49% may be achievable, vastly improving Kenya's competitiveness locally and internationally.
You look at the numbers, the conclusion you get is this has the potential to really enhance our external competitiveness. In terms of cost of inland transportation, that will fall by, we have estimates of something like 49%. Just think of that. The cost of the cost of transportation inland, from one point, Nairobi to Mombasa or something like that, will fall, or even you could say Kisumu, depending on how far this, well, we are talking in the future, not just today, will fall by something like that. That is dramatic.
Right, to some politics now. And for President Uhuru Kenyatta and his political rival Raila Odinga, the August election is a high-stakes rematch. But just what political strategies are cooking in the kitchen cabinets of the two political contenders, and what key challenges does each face in the hunt for numbers? Is our political affairs reporter Moremi Mwangi.
From the euphoric dance of Orange Party supporters outside City Hall on Sunday, to the carnival of jubilation of Jubilee supporters on Monday, the past 2 days were politically significant to the pair of heirs from the two arguably most influential political dynasties in Kenya, the Kenyatas and the Odingas. As the Kenyan electoral body, IEBC, cleared President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga to run for the top office in the August 8th polls.
Na watu wachache wanakuwa kama kupe, wanafyonza damu ya watu wetu. Hatutaki hiyo itaenda na Uhuru na Ruto.
Sisi tuanza safari ya kuomba Wakenya na kunyenyekea Wakenya, tukiomba amani, tukiwauliza watupatie nafasi.
President Kenyatta will be vying for his second and final term in office, while Odinga has vowed to run for only one term to pave way for a successor from within the National Super Alliance. A state of affairs which observers argue makes the August 8th elections a tough contest for both Kenyatta and Odinga. But just how and who will get the numbers?
We're likely to see in this 2017 election the aspect of the silent voters expressing their support or discontent for a political party or for a presidential candidate only through their vote.
We are being very realistic that our target, which is to get more than 50% plus one of the vote. So we want to get 10 million plus.
We will beat them by 70 plus one. September, come back to this office, because I'll also win my seat. Come back and ask me, how come you did not get 70 plus one?
Asante sana, anakabidhiwa. In 2013, Kenyatta lifted the presidential trophy at round one, after exceeding the 50% mark by a meager 0.07%. This translating to about 8,000 votes over the 50% mark. But the strategy on how to escape a presidential runoff in August is increasingly becoming Jubilee's greatest headache. NASA, on the other hand, is agonizing on how to increase its share of votes from perceived Jubilee zones, a task which in the South Rift squarely falls on the fifth NASA core principle, Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto.
Isaac Ruto will receive the serious humiliation of his life, and he is of no value to NASA.
NASA hawa tupigie kura Raila Amolo.
With all signs now showing that the August 8th Kenyatta Odinga rematch will be more abrasive than in 2013, the next 67 days will no doubt witness fierce campaigns as the scramble for keys to State House continues. Muremi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.
For us tonight. Thank you, Muremi. Now, Gladys Boss-Sholei was today cleared by the IEBC to contest for as a Jubilee candidate for the woman representative position in the county of Uasin Gishu. This is despite the inclusion of her name in the so-called red list by the Kenyan civil society groups. Speaking in Eldoret, where she handed her nomination papers to the IEBC, Sholei asked residents of Uasin Gishu County to come out in large numbers and vote for the Jubilee government on the 8th of August. All right, many thanks for staying with us here on KTN Prime. We did bring you the latest opinion polls released by research firm Ipsos. And on our big question discussion tonight, we're asking you, after what you saw in the 2013 election, do you believe opinion polls are a true reflection of public support? Tell us what you think. Text your yes or no opinion, plus a brief explanation to 22155. Tweet us at Ben_Kitili, at KTN News, at KTN Kenya, and the hashtag is KTN Prime. We shall be sampling some of your texts and tweets during this live newscast. Many thanks for staying with us. We take a quick commercial break. We are back shortly.